I am back. I apologize. It's been a little while. I have been kind of struggling through the end of my pregnancy here, and it has been summer break, so I have to be with my son most of the time, and it's just kind of chaos at this point. But I'm taking out some time today because I believe that this subject means a lot to a lot of people because it's something that had affected me. I have moved, I don't know, I stopped counting after moving 13 times. I've lived in different states in the United States. I've been in like New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Florida, and then I moved to Norway. So I've had to change different locations, meaning I had to kind of change my friend groups because for me, it was not just enough to have friends living somewhere else, which I still do, and I FaceTime them and I see them when I can, and we do little trips together. But it also is great to have friends physically to kind of create a village. With that said, I just want to let you know why I decided to make the video and kind of where my credentials are from. So this worked for me. I hope it works for you. That's how all my videos are. It's just me sharing my life-changing experiences and how I got to where I am when it comes to my success, happiness, etc., etc., kind of building a life that I love. When we're talking about friends and building new friendships, or a lot of people like to say, create a village, right? It's true, like we need a village, it's in our DNA, and creating that support system socially and for other reasons, maybe even financially, or there are times where I need someone to help me with raising my children. I don't have as much family and daycare support as sometimes I need. First thing is that you need to change your narrative, your internal narrative. You can't be telling yourself, I'm too old, it's too late, my personality is this way, I just don't make friends. There's no one out there, like there's no matches for me. These are very limiting beliefs. So that's one part of the start. But another part of this mindset that we start with, we have to also realize that there could be kind of, I'm gonna call them harmful boundaries, because I agree that everyone needs boundaries and you need to listen to yourself and take care of yourself, but sometimes that could be a little too harmful, and we need to go with a bit of tough love on ourselves, because that's the only way that we can go ahead and make progress, is by sitting in those feelings, feeling the discomfort, but then still showing up and taking action. So we have harmful beliefs, and then we also have these narratives that we're just telling ourselves that are kind of negative, limiting beliefs. Okay, so let's talk about the harmful boundaries, because I don't think many people talk about this when they're talking about making friends, creating community. And harmful boundaries are when you are canceling whatever it is you have to show up to stay home because you're too tired. Yeah, you're just not in the mood to socialize. And then we also have this thing about sharing space. Like we don't want to have to share our own space with other people, like in public locations. I know for me, for example, I hope this is making sense. Let me give you an example. When my son wants to do something outside, we want to go to a playground. If I go to the playground and I'm really tired, I'm just thinking, I do not want to go, I don't want to be here. Maybe I can convince him to do something else. And the reason is because I don't want to share the playground with other kids and their parents. I don't want to have to socialize, especially when I'm really tired and I haven't slept all night. But honestly, this is my neighborhood. This is my community. People should see me and talk to me no matter kind of what state I'm in. And same goes for them. We should be having conversations and getting to know each other. And I'm not saying that every time you see someone, you need to make a big conversation with them. You can just do a little check-in, just saying, hey, how's it going? Yeah, I feel great. Okay, nice. All right. I have a book I'm going to go read over here. Like you don't have to keep a conversation very long, right? But don't avoid situations because you don't want to be a part of your community. That's my whole point here. I think that we have a fear of discomfort, and that fear of discomfort, we started to slowly morph it into this, oh, I'll just be independent. I will isolate myself from others. But how healthy is your isolation? It's fine to do a bit of isolation and you need your downtime, don't get me wrong. But when this isolation actually becomes unhealthy and you don't have strong friendships, you don't have a community or a village to rely on, because as I said in the beginning, it's in our DNA. We need each other. We need each other to be healthy in many different ways. Let me just check my notes so I know where I'm at. Yeah, when did we stop? Like, when are your boundaries stopping the protection of you? Pardon me. And they're starting to isolate you. You start to question, why am I so lonely? Or I feel so alone. Yeah, it's because you took it a little too far. I don't know how else to say it in like a nicer way. Pardon me. I just need something to drink. So my point here is stop letting this comforting solitude take over the difficulty and some of the demands that a community, that connection actually will bring you. So sometimes we do need to make ourselves uncomfortable, especially if this is your goal in life. I had it on my vision board that I would make more friends and have a stronger friend group. So for me, I just started making this a priority. If someone invited me to a birthday party, I was there. Like, it was my job. Like, I could not call in sick. The only time I had to cancel plans in the past 2 years was because I literally was sick. I was hugging the toilet because I was pregnant. And another time, I think something came up where I didn't have anyone to watch my son. That was about it. So out of all that time, I have shown up to every single thing that I can think of. So you need to say yes, and you need to show up, because a village is built on reliability. Friendship is built on reliability. Reliability is when you can be consistent, and being consistent in your quality. But when I say quality, just take it as quality as just being someone to rely on. You are there because you're showing up to listen to someone. You don't even, like, in friendships, you don't even actually need to show up and have a bunch of energy and entertain people. I'm saying this because that's how I used to feel. I felt like, oh, I'm so tired, I can't entertain these people. But it's not about you entertaining. It's just about you showing up and being present, being physically there, and letting the conversation flow naturally. You can come tired. You can come messy. Don't worry about it so much. And that's where I'm getting to with the other side of it all, with the mindset that you're too old, or your personality that doesn't fit, or like, oh, but I'm not in a good mood, so I wouldn't really be that much fun to be around. You don't always have to be fun. Like, not every gathering has to be so much fun. Sometimes it's just to have a coffee and complain about life, or get to see what someone else is doing. My favorite time is like when my friends have gone on a little trip or something and they come back home, and I'm like, let me know when you're available to get some coffee or lunch, or just come over to my house. Like, we just hang out. They show me their pictures. They explain everything that's gone on in their trip. And then they tell me what they have what they're going to look forward to in the future. So with that said, I'm also getting into social media. It is something I have to talk about, because People take social media and they replace it for their actual social life. Get off of social media and you will be so much happier. I hardly ever go on Facebook. I have to let work and friends know that if they have events and they're inviting me to those events, they have to be done through text message or a phone call, email, like something that is not Facebook or Instagram. I have certain restrictions on my phone. It will shut off after 30 minutes. And then I always reflect on myself. Like before I click it, before I put my finger over top, I ask myself, am I doing this because I'm bored? Do I need to do this because I just am feeling lonely? Or do I just need a little bit of entertainment? Do I need to like zone out? Okay, sure, I'll take it. But yeah, I'm not on Instagram. I went on Instagram the other day. It's the end of July now. I had not been on there since mid-April, and I had over 6 messages from friends and family like sharing all this information for me, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. But at the same time, I have to explain myself saying I never go on here, because to me it's just advertisements. It's fake friendship. It's not friendship between the messages, but like fake friendship as in the people that I'm following are not really having a true relationship with me. It's just people showing their life, and instead of us actually getting together and sharing it together. So yes, if you are discouraged, this brings me to another point. If you're ever discouraged thinking, oh, someone's going to reject me, yeah, that is true, and it's gonna suck. I hate that word, but I'm trying not to edit videos, so here's the true me. It is very disappointing. And I think that's something you just need to kind of learn, that that's how you're going to toughen up. That you need to kind of build the tough skin with that situation, because disappointment is just a part of life and we can't avoid it. So it's going to be discomforting. It's going to be disappointing at times, because not everyone is meant to be your friend. Not everyone can be your friend in a certain season of life. Everyone's coming from different perspectives, different parts of life. So that's that. Let me just check my notes one more time so I know that I'm not getting a little too off topic here. But yes, we could take off the pressure through listening. We already talked about that. Oh, a really great tip, if you just want like practical tips, is after you do have a conversation with someone, I think you need to remember that you have the art of listening, and taking that listening skill and just not notating down what you remember of that conversation. So you have something for the next conversation, next meetup that you're going to have. But it's also jot down any kind of birthdays, meetups, put down the name of their kids and the kids' age, their dog or their pets' names. People love their pets. And it's a great way to just kind of refresh your memory before the next conversation you have with them. And of course, like I said, showing up to things like birthdays. And when I say show up, maybe it's just a text message, because another point I have to make is friendship takes time. We have to learn to trust each other, and to learn the trust, to gain that trust is going to take time. So don't worry about like rushing anything. There's people, I had seen them maybe 8 times and I still didn't feel like there was a connection. And then after 3 years, we have bonded so tightly that I could just call them up and say, hey, do you mind if I come over and grab a cup of coffee or something? I don't care, I'll drink water. Let's just have a little chit chat. Friendships are worth the time. They're worth the effort. I just wrote here, remember, show up imperfectly. Show up as yourself, because you cannot fake it. You can't start with the fakeness, right? You have to start with who you truly are. And if you think you're boring, then that's it. Just show up as your boring self. Show up as your tired self. I've done that a lot, like especially when I was becoming a mother. I was set up with a coffee group because that's what they do here in Norway. And this coffee group is, I don't know, like 6 different moms that have babies at the same time, around like within the same week or two. And you can all kind of grow up together with your children. Your children can grow up together as well. And you just grab some coffee or hang out at the playground together. And it's kind of a support system that the government sets you up with, which is great. But anyway, I felt like when I was in those groups when my son was born, I felt like I was the most boring person. And I was thinking, I probably look miserable because I almost feel miserable being here. But after a little while of talking, I was like, you know what? This is actually kind of nice. And we can sit here and just complain about the things that are going on, but also support each other and ask each other questions. What's going on with your kid? Where are they at developmentally? How are you dealing with this or that? And I'm so happy that every time I was too tired and didn't want to show up, I actually did show up. It ended up benefiting me. Now, are any of us still talking? Actually, no. A lot of us have moved to other places. Some of us moved back to our own countries. A lot of us just fell out. You're not, like I have said before, personalities don't always match up. And then we go into different seasons of life, of course. I had to go back to work and like work for full time, and the other moms were still staying at home with their kids. So that also was a big shift for me. I didn't have as much time to dedicate to them. I had to really focus on my career goals. Just remember, when you're having self-doubt, that we will have, there's always going to be negative experiences within this self-healing journey. It's not all just you. You can go ahead and put in the effort, but it's also on that other person's part to put in the effort as well. But maybe they're not ready. Maybe they have the limiting beliefs. Maybe they also feel like isolating themselves is the better route for that point in their life, or they think that maybe they'll just need to take the easy way out by isolating themselves. So don't blame yourself so much if anything kind of goes wrong. It just is what it is. This is how friendships work. But yeah, with that said, I think I am done talking. There's probably so much more that I'm missing, but that's okay. We can always have another video or another chit chat on another day. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have the best experience you can with making friends and connecting with your community. And I will see you in some of my other videos. Thanks for watching. Bye. Mwah.